We are here. We are here. Okay. This is time. Testing. Test, test, test. Test, test, test. Test, test, test. Testing, test, test, test. Test, test, test. Like a testing, like a testing now. Testing now. What do you know about my test now? Getting test now. Ooh, test now. Oh, good. Thank God. Thank you, error code. Appreciate you. OBS be a tripping. If you tripping now, what's wrong with OBS now? All right, guys. Classic. Let's go. Get in here for the one time. LMDC, you are first, so as long as you're in here, we're ready to go. All right, guys. We had a little bit of mic issues, OBS issues. You already know what I'm saying. This is part of the journey. Technical issues and fixing it yourself. Technical troubleshooting is how we get it done. This is live stream feedback fun time number 51. Today we have 18 submissions, and our first submission is from LMDC, named appropriately. We will look at the cover art as well. But the name is quite fantastic. The name is Doobie-Doo Flip. Doobie-Doo Flip by LMDC Official. Let's get it done for the one time. I hope you guys are having a great day. Let me know what's up in the chat. I'm here in the chat with you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let's run it. Okay. Let's go. All right, that was Doobie-Doo. I know you guys saw my face the whole time. Classic. But we're going to get down into the nitty-gritty of this track. This is pretty cool. We got a little bit of Japanese vibe, you know. And I'm really liking that. I like the vocals that you have here. And then when we get to the drop, you know, we're feeling some like tearout gun style. Awesome. And let me know in the chat also if the audio sounds good for these songs, like the desktop audio. Got to make sure everything's good. So these, when it goes back between the guns and the vocals, it's really cool dynamically. Like lots of bounce here. All right, we're going to try to fix the mono situation here shortly, but I can hear it in stereo, and I still want to just give you feedback on this while I can. If anyone can see in OBS, if you guys can you see my OBS right now? Yeah, you can. So like, this is the desktop audio. Usually I would be in mono here, or in the settings, output, streaming, none of this. We'll change it to mono in here. So this is stereo, see? So I'm not too sure why it would be recording back in. Thank you, Surgix, I appreciate that. All right, so let's. So basically, when the drop starts, these guns kind of go straight. We just go straight into the guns, you know? Now, this isn't considered like a call, and then this isn't considered a response. Basically, your call and response are like together. So you really want to make sure that the beginning of this drop, this downbeat, there's some type of introduction bass, some type of new sound or cool rhythm, cool groove that's a little bit different than the main fast bass. Now, when we switch back over here, it sounds good, but we have to make sure that we also set this phrase up properly at the beginning. That'll be important, you know, just as soon as that. So usually, like, if we had it perfect on grid, we would have it be starting on the downbeat, which would be like 10. And then the 0.3 is the snare. So usually the call section is from the downbeat to the next downbeat, which is the 0.3, which is when the snare hits. As soon as that snare hits, that's when we headbang. And then, boom, all that fast guns starts ripping. But right before those fast guns, we need like a little bit of slow, maybe a growl, maybe a two-step, something different, so that you can go back and forth between that. And then, of course, do that switch with the vocal. And then it'll start to sound, you know, a lot more professional, start getting big, juicy. Rhythmically, we just want to be dancing as much as possible, getting as much energy as possible, and that will help with it. Also, keep in mind, too, the gun itself sounds very small, very weak. It's not layered enough to the point where it's like big, aggressive, thick, full, and dominant in the mix, which it really should be. The other supporting basses, like the chugs, like the offbeat chugs, like the those are almost louder and more intense. So you want to be making sure the mix is balanced in a way so that your gun, which really is the main thing, is the star of the show and louder, thicker than everything else, you know, pump up that volume. Pump up that volume. No, not a fake out. A fake out you would add on top of what I'm telling you to add with the call and response. So a fake out would be like a 4 to 8 bar section as soon as the drop starts. And we just remove the drums, or we add a filter to remove a lot of the frequencies. And then as soon as that drop hits, you get boom, thrown back into the mix. And remember, fake outs too are to add more energy and more tension after the buildup. Buildup adds all this tension, and then we release it at the drop. But the fake out is meant to add even more tension and more energy to make the drop hit harder. So if your fake out's not doing that, then you got to make sure it is. Restructure that boy. But yeah, the fake out is going to be part of the drop. I don't think you need a fake out here, but really just a nice call response structure. You are always going to be working like 4 bar phrases. And then you can even extend that to like an 8 bar phrase if you wanted to. And try different call and response methods. It's cool. We love fake outs. Maybe YouTube streaming. That is a good... YouTube streaming in mono. Is that a problem? I've never... It shouldn't be. This is so weird. My OBS has been not good lately, honestly. It's been tripping hard. I don't see anything in here about making the video audio stream settings. None. So settings, channel settings. Yeah, none of this should be making it mono. I'm gonna test this song real quick. Let me make sure the second song's mono. Bro, he said, honestly, just could use the old ad. If it sounds good in mono, it'll sound good in stereo. True that, dude. You know what I'm saying? Bro, I cannot for the life of me figure out why the desktop audio is going in mono. This is the button that should be activating that right here. Maybe if I turn it on, it'll turn off mono. Let's try it real quick. Let's do a little test real quick. I don't know why that would make stereo. Sorry. I don't know why that would make that stereo, but that's crazy. All right, we're going to give the first track a run back to give it its full glory. Let's get it. It's doubled. You're saying it's doubled. What do you mean? Like it's like there's two of them playing at the same time? Like it's phasing? What? Is it still phasing if I just have this track one on? Let me know. Quick test. Let me know if it is. Is it a FaceTime? Yo. Hey. Yo, Crimp, you better stop talking shit over here. What's going on? Oh my God. We're trying to fix through these technical problems right now, man. There ain't no time. We don't got no time for this, man. As Smiley said, be respectful or you're just going to get kicked, man, or blocked. We do it all the time. Come on, just chill, man. People are learning here. What the hell? Okay, we need to do a quick technical test to make sure the audio is working so that we can review these tracks and have a fun time, good time. Fun time, good time. So let me know in the chat if this sounds still phasey. Hello? Bro. I'm about to give up on the OBS, man. OBS, man. Oh. Someone, can you hear me? We can hear you now. Yes, but I bet you the dang tracks are gonna be... Dude, I don't know what's going on with OBS, guys. I'm so sorry. Just a quick test. Let me know if this is fucked up or not. For the one time. Everything sounded good. Mic good. Desktop audio good. Bro, there's no way. Okay, hold on. I need to just see. Dang it, dude. I wasn't looking at the chat. I did everything. Everyone was just having a fun time, good time. Ah, gosh. Are you stoned today? Your mic is muted. Dude, I'm literally constantly stoned. That is how I live, actually. I know my mic, sign language. Fuck. Crim is still talking to trash. Ah. Oh, God. Okay, I'm just reading the chat, homies. I'm sorry. Vince, finish your homework. Good. He noticed. Homie's living. This is the funniest feedback. This is not funny. This is bad. I am sorry. I just make sure. Okay, third time's a charm. We're good. Okay. Thank you, guys. Patient guys. I like you guys. Let me know if there's any other problems. We'll get through them together. Whew. Imbecile. Yuck. That was pretty heavy, man. There was a lot of energy going on. You guys are going crazy in the chat. I don't know what you guys talk about in the chat, but you guys need to get along. All right. There ain't no need for no dubstep duels. What the fuck is this? 16? What is this? 1492? Or dueling out here? Bro, you guys are wild, man. The dubstep be getting people crazy. All right, man. Settle it in the pits. That's all I gotta say. We got some pit music going up in here. We gotta do some feedback for the one time on the pit music. I feel really bad for LMDC. I'm probably going to actually just go back to his feedback right after this because I can't just leave him hanging. You know what I'm saying? But you message me in Discord if you have any other questions about what I talk about. First, I'm going to give Yuck his feedback here. Number 2. This is nice. The only main problem here is it gets a little too loud. So we are peaking at negative 1.5 LUFS in some sections, which unfortunately is ear damaging, ear piercing. And we have to just be really careful when we get to that range, because if we're not super clean in the mix, then it's just super harsh frequencies being blasted, and that can be, harmful for our ears. We have the tools and the ability to turn down these harsh frequencies. We can use the Fletcher-Munson curve to study which frequencies are the harshest and affect our ears differently, so that we can turn and tune those down. And overall, like compression, if you do too much compression or too much parallel processing, you can get to the point where you're just hitting too loud and you just want to mix a little bit down. We got to get loud, but you got to mix down so there's some dynamics. Dynamics is important because if everything's just being clipped and blasted to the top, it's hard to distinguish what's quiet, what's loud, and those dynamics will make us have feeling, give us more energy, the difference between quiet and soft. The overall dynamics in the layers is really what I'm talking about. You can also see when you zoom out of this track, it starts to even look bricked, which is a good way to visually see if something is too loud as well. If you're sending all of the signals straight to the master, for example, without any buses, your sounds are really loud and they can get crowded in the mix and really start to compete with each other, and that'll be an issue. So you really want to make sure that you prevent that from happening. Some artists are really good at mixing and they don't need to use complicated buses and stuff like Skrillex, but a lot of people do use these complicated buses like Skrillex because that's what you learn in audio engineering school. You learn how to properly bus, send your signals to different sections so that they're organized, clean, and they can go to the master with space. We got to keep those dynamics. So like overall, negative 1.5 LUFS is just a little too loud. We really want to be hitting like that negative 3 LUFS. That's like a perfect range, because right there, that range is still like too loud, ear damaging, but it's like a comfortable ear damaging loud. That's the Marauder damage loud. I reference a lot of his tracks and he's always like perfectly hovering around that negative 3. And that's what I've been doing lately. And lately my ears have just been adjusting to that negative 3. So be careful, save your ears. Don't go too crazy on the negative 1 LUF. Don't go too crazy with the 0 LUF or the 1 LUF. Man, that's going too crazy. Okay, overall flow though. We got to check out the dancing fun time here. Look at this. So really nice sustain going. We have this fake out, which is adding more energy. This cool little brings us into the actual drop. Yeah, it's cool. Honestly, all the sounds are there. The sound design, like everything's pumping. Everything's just a little bit crowded, a little bit congested. And these things need space to breathe, If you try to reference like a Resurrect or a Lays track and try to see how they're mixing these sounds together, because that's what's adding more energy, making it a lot cleaner and really taking it to the next level, making it sound professional. You don't need to hire no mixing, mastering engineer, man. You are your own mixing and mastering engineer. You can run the game yourself with this Bableton. She has all the tools you need. And then maybe like a Pro L, that's really helpful too. And your clippers. Don't forget your clippers and your EQs. So these sections, the sussy's gone. Lots more space. It's starting to sound cleaner. But the amount of crunch and distortion is almost a little bit to the top where we can't distinguish the difference between like mud and distortion. And it can't really sound muddy. It has to sound just a little bit distorted, a little bit crunchy. It's a little bit noisy too, like white noise frequency, harsh frequencies are coming out. So really you just need to individually go to all your tracks, use your EQs, listen to each of them, make sure you remove any bad frequencies, remove any low mid-range frequencies that compete with the sub, make sure you clean up the mud, clean up the harshness, and then it'll get to that next level. And then if you start bussing everything, then everything just will work everywhere, like sources wise. So in the car, in the club, iPhone speaker, MacBook speaker, it is going to need to sound good on everything for sure. The overall flow, bounce, groove is just there, man. People are going to be dancing. These basses are a lot less distorted and muddy compared to these basses. It's a different feeling in these sections. Now we have the fast bass to scratch you on like that one is starting to get a little bit noisy, a little bit harsh. So you can dial that down so it fits with all the other like clean, dirty, boom, 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 boom. These fills, though, are really, really good with the dynamics. So overall, the dynamics in the drop from going loud to quiet, these are really good. I like these. The fake outs and sustains, man, sounding good. Loving this energy. It's fun. Yeah, man, keep it up. Just working on the mixing and the mastering. That's really like the last thing seems like you need to master. You got everything else down. You're going to start getting people going crazy in the club. That's really the main goal there. Yeah, great shit. Imbecile, yuck. That's what I'm talking about. With the doobie flip one time. Remember, DM me, LMDC, if you have any other questions right now, but I'm going to repeat what I said when I was muted, unfortunately. So the feeling of this right off the rip is amazing. It's really nice to get into something as soon as you start the song, like on Spotify, for example, and you like literally start dancing right away. That's a really good thing because most people are skipping songs. Most intros are slow and people will have to like skip to the drop. We don't really want them to skip anything. So these are good ways to keep people interested. Now, the drop has some sections that are really good, like this. Now, these sections, like I mentioned earlier, have a lot more dynamics compared to these ones. So with these, everything's kind of congested, you know, being squished together. Lots of frequencies are competing with each other, lots of low mid frequencies. So you really just want to, once again, go to individual tracks, check out everything that's playing, maybe even turn off some tracks, check your layers. Usually we're layering too much and adding too much, so dialing back down, removing some stuff will really help in getting your mix clean. If you compare it to this, it's very simple. You have one big sound, your sub, and a vocal, but it feels like the mix is full because all the frequencies, all you have to do is fill the frequency spectrum and the stereo image to create a full mix. And you've done that here. So here you've done that, but you've went over the top. And this is a common issue throughout this track here and these sections too. So if you work on the layering and making sure that these fit together well, it will help with the overall energy. Plus, you want to make this gun a little bit stronger, thicker. Right now it's a little bit weak, it's a little bit thin. And this gun is the star of the show. It is the main guy. It is the one we're here for, really. The other basses are just like supporting basses. So like the like the offbeat chugs. Those are almost sounding louder than the guns. So we have to be careful to make sure these other basses aren't trying to, you know, take up the star of the show spot. They don't get front stage, man. They don't get front stage, man. You know who gets front stage though? Your machine gun. So layer them. Usually I have like 9 layers, like 3 groups. To get guns big, you got to do a lot of post-processing. Watch my latest tearout guns video 2024 update to see exactly the extent you need to get to so you can get something super thick and clean, just bum rocking, you know, just busting down. So in the overall structure of the song, there's a lot of things that need to be improved on, because if you would like reference some tracks from your favorite EDM people, you're going to see a lot of the drops are like 32 bars, 16 bars in length. And you want to like really work with those first, because that's how we can dance the best to it. DJs can DJ the best to it. Right now, you also don't have a proper build-up either, which is really making the energy not as high before the drop. We want to build as much tension as possible before the before the drop, during the build-up, and then as soon as that drop happens, all that tension releases, and then boom, we get to rocking. But right now, we really aren't building that tension, because it's really just like a fake out, like it's just like filtered out basses. We have this bass rise, but there's not any build drums to go with it. Now, if you have, as soon as this bass rise starts, just like fast kicks, fast snares, fast claps going, this is what's going to build the tension and energy. And, you know, this is something they do in rock and metal all the time. They speed up the BPM. So right now we're at 140, for example. All these extra drums will make you go double time. All of a sudden, you're speeding up the energy, building up as much tension as possible in the build-up. And then boom, release it. These things will really help overall length, song structure, overall fake out. This is a little bit too long. We really want to simplify this fake out. 2, 4, 8 bars would be a good fake out. And just try to get a proper build. Use reference tracks so you can view other songs and see how they make their build-ups and their drops. And it'll help a lot with your timing. But overall, it's good, man. It's a good piece of art. You keep it up, because these vibes and feelings that we're getting, like the Japanese vocals, it's good. And you're blending them both together, which is new. So it's always a good time. It's always a good time now. That was LMDC with Doobie 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 Flip. That was Yuck with Imbecile. Up next now is Vlad. We got death threats, bro. Gulp. All right. Let's see what he has. can't for the life of me figure out what the fuck is going on with OBS. I can't. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why it's phasing. I don't know why 2 tracks are playing at the same time. I spent like a whole day trying to fix this just for recording my videos for YouTube videos, and now it's happening in the stream, and it just doesn't make sense. I don't understand what could be going on. Let me know if you can hear. Okay, you can hear me now though, right? Okay, but okay, now test. Okay, but then if I play the song, is it regular? Damn it, Vlad, it's not okay. Thank you. You guys are so nice, I must say. You guys are the best vibes. For some reason, like it was playing, it's like playing the track twice. It's like recording the track from somewhere else. For some reason. Interesting. Interesting one. Y'all can y'all let me know if there are any big issues. My Ableton sound is the multi, which leads to which is this, which is my interface, and this is the thing that lets Ableton audio go through. This is the black hole. So it's a very simple setup, you know, it's never really stopped working. I'm not too sure what the heck's going on. Yeah, we'll just keep playing. You guys let me know if you hear any big issues. I have the notes here on this song, and I do really like this song, Vlad, I must say. I mean, dude, the emotion overall, like your musician knowledge, your overall music theory knowledge, the way you're able to put us in an atmosphere, put us in a scene, really tell a story with your tracks is unlike most. And that's the stuff I'm trying to do. That's the stuff I strive for. So it's really nice to hear you really perfecting some of these aspects of music production, because it's really making a difference here. I remember your last track. It was amazing. It really, like, I'll remember that. It was sick. This track, the basses, main leads are not as impactful, not as big. And it's because of like the mixing. This is a really common issue that's going on. When your bass leads, when you're making them, usually they're pretty stereo and we lose that mono signal. Sometimes there'll be a mono signal, but it's really faint. It's like low volume. So you just want to make sure that the strong, healthy mono signal in the middle, it has to be pretty dry, you know. If there is reverb, it has to be very tight. We can't really put it in too big of a space. And then the wide version of the bass. So there'll be 2 total versions, 1 mono, 1 wide. But the wide version of the bass will be basically similar to what's playing right now. Wide, filling up the left, right. These are the ones you can add more reverb to and stuff. But that parallel processing will really help bring out the bass and make it big, chunky, flat, fat. Over here, there's sections where like there's 6 sustains that are playing, but they're like almost in the background, and you could really benefit by turning them up. It would add so much more energy. Like there's a background sussy, like wiggling and pitching up. Sounds very low volume. You know, those can be brought up. That would add more variation to these phrases in these sections and really get us away from just that rhythm bass, plus add a lot of energy. So I think that'll be really cool. Then, like, this intro is very long without, like, I guess, like a vocal. It needs like something to make it stand out, you know? Because just the organs and choirs. These are just sounds that we've heard so many times, just like in general as a human species. You know, these are some of the first sounds that have been used. So when you're using them, you got to like find some really unique classical scales that you can maybe switch to during these instruments or add vocals, you know, like a sick intro vocal. You know, think of when you're at the festivals and Excision's dropping those intros with all those crazy vocals and then just like big and talking about something epic. That's the type of route you want to go, just so people can understand the story and understand why they're on this journey, because this is a very long intro and you want to make sure people stay and listen to this. It'll be good. You want to try to be as unique as possible and get these filled out. Like, the amount of drums in here is very minimal. There's like maybe 2 war drums going on. But if you like reference a lot of EDM tracks, there's lots of percussion, lots of fast movement going on. I mean, we're preparing people for the drop. We're like speeding up as much. We're trying to get as much energy as possible up in here without making it sound crazy. You know, that's kind of the goal. Overall, though, really good job, Vlad. Always coming in with that quality. Naturally. Unapologetically. Okay, I'm done. That's Death Threats by Vlad. And next we have a meme. We shall skip the meme and we shall go to... Is this Vincent? Is this Vincent himself? With Castle Breach. It is Vincent, I shall say, with Castle Breach. We shall listen to the breach. Let me know what's going on with the audios, guys, because the OBS gods are fighting.
Oh my God.
Damn. That's Vincent coming in with the Castle Breach. So I gotta admit, there's a lot that needs to be worked on in here. And there's some pretty big issues going on in here that I don't like to see, you know, some big issues. First is having no snare in the drop. Why is this important? Because the snare is what we're headbanging to. The snare is what we're dancing to. The snare is the basis of our rhythm in the song. So not having your snare in the drop is a big scary thing to do. You know, don't want to do this really, especially in the dance music when we're trying to dance. Like we need our snare so bad. Right now the rhythms are just like, we're just like free flowing really. And like this really stops becoming music, you know, because music is something we can dance to or feel to. Right now this is more like soundscape, like atmospheric, different sounds. It honestly reminds me of like tripping a little bit. Especially this is really cool, ambient, nice. But when we get to these drums, there's really no energy here. So the reason there's no energy is because it's very empty. There's a very minimal amount of drums being used, and you may have done that on purpose to try to like stay minimal, but you need at least like a couple of drums and a couple of risers, you know, to really start adding energy and making this sound like a proper build. It's like even like a sub rise, like boom. Something as simple as that could be one step into the right direction of really getting more tension to be built here. Because when we get here, this is supposed to be like a drop, dubstep drop, but then the next biggest issue comes into play. Yo, I feel like I'm doing that one Eminem song, Guilty Conscience. And then the next issue comes into play. The octave on the sub. This is a big thing that we have to be careful of. So when we listen to this sub, the sub literally sounds like it's in maybe C1, D1, like octave 1 instead of octave 0. Your sub and your low frequencies will always be in octave 0. That's where they live. That's their home. That's where they live and breed. That's where they're going to do their deed. So double check your sub octave. I did send you a sub, an actual sub rack, I believe, or we made it in our lesson. So make sure that you go back to that sub so that you can add that sub to this track. Make sure it's in octave 0 with your notes that you're playing. And then remember, we're turning up that sine wave. You got to turn up that sine wave, low pass that sine wave to get it clean and really get that thing pumping. Because this is bass music, man. Everything relies on that bass, which is the sub bass. I'm talking about the sub bass, not your mid bass. The mid basses, which are like the growly boys, very quiet and almost sound like white noise. So you really want to layer these with some more growly, you know, sounds. Go to the Ivory preset pack. You know, he has so many good things you can use in Serum. It's a fun time, you know. That's what you're going to need to do. That's the way to win. Build drums, sub octaves, and then just simplify the amount of sounds being played in the overall drop. Some of the sections have a lot of sounds just coming at you randomly. We got to make sure we simplify to make sure there's rhythm with the way these sounds are being played. That's how you get it done. Let me know if you have any questions. Just DM me in the Discord. I will help you out with that. Up next, we have Zwig with Bad Dream. Let's get it done today. All right, so you guys see what's going on here? You can hear me, right? So when I play this song, nothing in my environment is feeding into the microphone. Like my monitors are off, headphones are not loud. So the microphone is only listening to my voice. It's not listening to the song, right? And the mic level you see here in the OBS is right here. But when I play the song, it's going to the mic. Look. So, like everything's routed properly with my interface. I think OBS is tripping. I had to restart OBS like 4 times the other day to like fix this issue and just randomly fix. So I'm really confused on why it's phasing. Aux adapters, no. I'm using an Apollo Twin with, and I have a SM7B, and it's being fed with a regular mic XLR. Very simple setup that should be not doing this. I don't know why desktop audio is going to the mic. If anyone knows why, you'll be my savior. It's a very weird issue. All right, we're going to listen to Bedroom. I can hear it normally, so I'm going to give feedback on this song. If anyone can try to figure out what's going on with the phasing and why it's playing. It's phasing because there's two. The desktop audio is playing, and then for some reason the desktop audio is going into my mic somehow. So then both of those are playing at the same time, which is causing it to phase. So we know the issue. I don't know how the heck. I really like these vibes right off the rip. Very luscious. You got little drippies in the background. This is another song though without any build-up. Like, this is cool and all, but if you do have a build-up with build drums, just adding more energy, building tension, the drop will be like 3 times harder than it is right now. Like, the amount of energy increase, the amount of craziness that you can add with just simple build drums and risers, you'll be surprised. Luckily, you have the melodies playing in the background because that's kind of helping with the whole call and response and flow and vibe of this track. I would also try to work on, call and response with your basses as well. Right now, you just kind of get thrown into the main riff. On top of that, that main riff has been playing this whole time in the fake out. So by the time it gets to the drop, it becomes repetitive, and then it quickly gets repetitive after like 4 to 8 bars. So changing up that rhythm, that dan 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 dan, is going to be really important to keep the energy going and make sure the energy doesn't decrease over time. Right now, that's kind of what's happening, unfortunately. Your overall drop length seems very long too. Make sure you're not going past 32 bars. That's really going to be a little bit too long. Only time you really want to go past 32 bars is when you're adding an extra fake out. It's like maybe an extra 8 bars of fake out, something like that. But this doesn't really have that type of structure. So I want to make sure that your drop length isn't too long. And then like sections like these where it's building up, lots of mud is starting to be introduced. Use your EQs, remove all the low mid frequencies. Anything under 175 hertz is a really good spot to look. That's where you want to be cutting, 175. That's a healthy cut. Overall, though, man, you have a nice piece of art here. You definitely have good ideas. This reminds me of like the YVM3 video I made with the melodies and the tearout gun. So I really like that. You just have to keep working on the call and response, the overall flow of the basses, and then make sure that you build some good energy, some good tension with dynamics. Like, you know, I keep saying build up drums. That's just one way to build tension and energy. You know, YVM3, sometimes they don't use build up drums, but they create dynamics with the sound. So like maybe it'll be quiet, then it'll get loud, and then quiet, and they're just like using volume and adding movement that way. So you want to try those different tricks if you're not going to have build up drums. All kinds of different cool tricks. Remember, use reference strong, see what everyone's doing, and you'll be learning all kinds of new cool stuff. It's always a fun time. That's Bad Dream by Zwig. You know what it is. Oh, look who it is. I think this boy's in the chat right now. I am dead. You put 2 emojis in the chat right now. I am dead. 2 emojis in the chat. Am I dead is taking it slow. He's taking it slow. He ain't going fast right now, man. He's just taking it slow. You know, he met that girl. He took her to the club. He was like, dang, girl, I like you. But you know what? I'm taking it slow. Let's get it done. My mic's working. My mic's working. My mic wasn't working like this. My mic's not working. My mic works like this. You know, I want you to look at these levels, and then when I play the song, you're gonna see. Right here. See, the desktop audio is going. The output is going into the input. Why? But why? See, like, so the mics, what you're seeing right there is this universal audio. This is my interface. But this is the mic. It should only be picking up the input, but it's actually picking up the output as well, I think. Bruh. I figured out a workaround though. Using Thunderbolt adapter. Yeah, I'm using the Thunderbolt 3, the newest black one from Apple. It's the newest Thunderbolt. Phasing is bad. Phasing is bad. Yes, phasing means that two of the same things are playing at the same time and it starts to like sound all wiggly, figgly. It's not a good time. We need to be able to hear these tracks in their full glory. I believe the first drop we listened to was phasing out a little bit. I have a workaround right now until we can fix this crazy problem, but I'll just turn my mic down while we're monitoring and listening, and then I'll turn it back up for the feedback. We should be good to go. And yeah, I'm not using any adapters. Definitely not using any adapters. No hubs, nothing. It's either my interface or OBS. I gotta throw one of them out the door. Let's listen to this first drop. Oh, that's a good time, dude. Frankie, that make me so happy. You're improving so much. I mean, as soon as people start listening to your track, it sounds professional. People start saying they like it in the chat. Like, there's levels to this, and when you start organizing all your stuff, you start paying attention to proper song structure, energy techniques. You start filling your track with really important things like vocals that really hit your feels and make you want to sing. You're really taking it to the next level. This is starting to get closer to like hit song range, you know what I'm saying? Dubstep anthems.
I don't know how long I can go, taking it slow.
Now, all this is really good, but this is the feedback stream. I want to nitpick everything, and I want to make sure that you go to even the cleanest possible levels you can. So we're going to take a deep dive. Everything is good, flow, song structure, energy, everything's amazing, dude. But the things you can't improve on are like the overall like fullness of the bass lead. So when you listen to the bass lead, the mix is full, but the bass lead is like stereo dominant. It could have a little bit more in the middle. The sub is really dominating. It's like the sub is right here and then everything else is to the left. It's kind of hard to tell. But when you go over here, you can tell because the vocal is completely mono. And if you kind of compare how wide or how mono your bass lead is compared to how mono this vocal is, you can see a huge difference, and you can kind of feel the amount of space that was left out here once we get here. This is the easiest way you can tell. Let's see if you can tell. So like bass is cool, bass has a lot of energy. Most people won't be able to tell like that it doesn't have a mono layer, you know, because you still have mono information being played. When I say a mono layer, I mean like a mono layer that's dominant, that's present in the mix, that is making more of an impact than your stereo layer almost, because that mono one should be the one that's up front in the middle. If you test your mix in mono, then you will be able to see the stereo bass leads will start to sound a lot different. And you just want to make sure that doesn't happen. Test your mixes in mono, make sure everything sounds good and doesn't change too much when you go to mono. And if it does change too much, all you have to do is add that mono layer that I'm talking about, and those issues will be gone. Plus, you'll be getting a healthy, clean, full mix. You're going to be layering lots of mid-range frequencies too when you're doing all this layering. And even right now, you're layering a lot of mid-range frequencies. So just make sure on your EQs, you're cutting at 175. Some will be cut at 175. Others will be cut higher than that. Just try to make sure you clean up as much as possible, because right now these mixes are super clean. You're getting to like -4, -3 LUFS perfectly. I'm able to turn it up halfway and not blow my ears out, which is a really good sign that your mixes are starting to get professional. I love it. Good job taking it slow, more like we're going fast. We going fast. We going up there, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's go, Trin. Hope you're doing well. Keep submitting the heat. Keep improving, because this is how we'll win. Yeah, very minimal feedback on this, dude. I mean, I wish I could give you more, but you have the main things down. Getting people dance. This is dance music. You got the main thing down. Just keep practicing, and your mixes are just going to keep getting cleaner and cleaner, and then that'll make the last difference in pushing you to the top. Up next, we got Ruin You. Idea by, oh, I know who this is by. Smileys. We got Smileys with the cover out with a Nike, with the glass, with the hand. This is Ruin You. This is simply an idea. Parentheses idea, parentheses out. Let's see what we got going on here. I'm expecting a rhythm function. I'm expecting to transport to a function of rhythm for melody. Let's go.
Going to ruin you.
forgot you guys couldn't hear me. Damn. Okay. What I said was, we gotta run that shit back, run that funky shit back for the one time. That's what I said. Okay. Anyways. We got some energy in here. We went straight to the rhythm function. I must say, at the beginning of the drop, I was feeling a little bit underwhelmed with the kick. Like, overall, flow's pretty cool. The flow's going pretty fast right off the rip, so it's kind of... So it's kind of weird with the kick being so small, because the kick really feels mini. So like that kick should be really dominant, just boom, but it really isn't. So with this pattern and flow, it's just not as impactful as it could be if that kick was bigger. You do switch up the flow significantly in the sub, and you start pitching the sub, and you go crazy with it, get a little bit funky. And then the kick almost becomes like, you can't even pay attention to the kick because you got so much craziness going on with the sub. And then we got that constant quarter note. You know, this quarter note, there's a reason why rhythm is made at the quarter note speed. You know what I mean? It's just so spicy. It's just so good. And dude, you be killing it with this specific pitched quarter note. It reminds me of like Hall. It's just so good. Like that shit would go hard on the rhythm bus, my guy. That's cool. Second drop. I mean, as you can see, just from my energy levels, this is just feels so much more energetic than this. So, you know, I would maybe try to incorporate maybe some of this in here, and then sprinkle in those fast pieces. So like quarter note fast. That'd be sick. Overall, good job. Good job. These are pretty empty though. I want you to take it to the next level, man. Make your intros unique. Stand out from all the masquerades. People, you're going to stand out. Make it crazy. Do something different. It's time. Good job, Smileys. Once again, heat, high quality definitions. HD 4K. Rhythm. Is it dumb or is it rhythm? Up next, we got Espen. With, you've got the teeth of the Hydra. You've got the teeth of the Hydra upon you. Work in progress. Espen, what you got for us, boy? Run it.
to a sudden.
Oh, my lantern. Wow. It's been, you don't hit that shit out the park, man. That was really nice. Now, I must say, there's a lot of things to improve upon. Okay, but damn. You don't put us on, man. Like, the one thing that you did really good in this is like the amount of space that you're creating in the drop. It sounds like we're in this like big, like almost haunted like Coca-Cola factory where everyone is just ghosts and like getting down to the low frequencies of death at night. Bro, killing it. There are some things though that you need to do to take this to the next level, because right now it doesn't sound too professional. It's really just like a rough draft almost. The reason why it sounds like that is because a lot of the basses are not layered enough, they're not thick enough, not loud enough, not full enough. And some of these sections, like these subs, like there's not much layered on top of the sub, except maybe a little bit of bass, little bit of mid bass and a little bit of noise. But really there should be like a little bit more layer on these downbeats, because these downbeats are the beginning of the drop. Like right here, well, these need to be really distinguished, like brum, brum, super loud, super up in the mix. So layer the basses that are on top of these subs and make them thick and full. Remember, you're trying to fill out the frequency spectrum. So you're filling out lows, mids, highs. You're thinking of that the whole time while you're layering. You're also thinking of filling out the stereo image. So make sure there's a mono signal, stereo signal. And after you got all that, things are full. You want to do that for each bass in all your phrases. Overall, the dynamics in this is insane. So like going from loud to quiet, like see these little literal almost silent spaces, these make just an insane dynamic shift. And because of this, lots of energy is created, lots of emotion is created. So hats off to you. That's my favorite part. This rhythm right here is so fire. It's I don't know why this shit reminds me of like Manhunt for PS2, but it does. Like you're just walking around, you know, just on a manhunt, being manhunted by the FBI. Like that sounds violent. But once again, mix levels, like you can barely feel that main mid bass. It's more like sub heavy. It sounds a little bit muffled, you know, there's not a lot of highs. So overall, this can be layered and mixed to a point where it adds a lot more energy and impact. Cool. And then obviously these sections need a vocal. I was muted. I was trying to rap on it the whole time, but I was muted. But even in the chat too, people can feel it. They feel that it's empty. They feel that it needs to be, you know, have a vocal. And you can do like they're saying like screamo rap vocals, or just he could do freaking UK drill rap vocals. You could do anything that you like, man. But you want some deep dark vocals to match this deep dark track. And that's going to keep people interested. That'll keep people coming back too. After the first listen, the second listen, if it's just a beat, it becomes almost stale. So if there's vocals in there, there's a lot of runtime. You could do 10th listen, 15th listen, 20th listen, because with the vocals, there's just so much different sections of energy, and the human voice is very impactful. So utilize that. Utilize our voice. Good job, man. I like that. Oh, it's cool. It's been coming in for the 1 time, for the 2 time, 3 time. You've got the teeth of the Hydra upon you. Sounds like almost like a poem. A evil poem. Up next, we got Jackson coming in with Rockstar. Version 3. Let's see. Just by looking at this waveform, I'm sure you guys know what I'm going to say. Proceed. I'm gonna go to the restroom real quick. I'll be right back. Listen to this outro for the 1 time. Another one bites the dust. Oh. Let's go. Get off for the 1 time, for the 2 time, for the 3 time. That was Jackson coming in with Rockstar. Not version 1, not version 2, but version 3. So I'm sure you guys know what I'm going to say right off the rip about this. If you know what I'm going to say, put it in the chat. You get Cashed App. $10,000. First one to get it right. If you know what I'm going to say, what am I going to say? What am I thinking for the first thing right off the rip? Who's getting 10,000? Who's getting it? If one of you guys guessed a brick, you get 10,000. So bricks in the chat. Look at the zoom out. If you zoom out, the waveform starts to look like a brick. This is a very common issue in audio production. When I went to audio school, I showed my professor one of my songs. I was like, I'm so happy. I'm going to show you my song. And I showed him, and this is the first thing he talked about. It was just how it had no dynamics, how it was just bricked and shit. And he hurt my soul that day. But I came out that day a stronger man. And I learned about dynamics in my mix. What do I mean? The difference between quiet and loudness. So like, look at Espen's song Above You, for example. We could visually see the different quiet sections, loud sections. Right here, when it looks like this, it could be 2 things that are happening. It's either too loud and you're just pushing it too loud. When we measure, it's -4 lufs. It's not really too loud. It doesn't sound too loud either. I can turn it up. So that's not really the issue. But what's really happening is that you're using compression to an extent where you're over compressing your signals. Compression is used to like basically turn everything up. You're basically turning up the quiet sections of the song with compression. So if you over compress, you're going to be turning up every single quiet and loud all the way up to the top, especially if you're turning up that makeup gain. So you just want to dial back compression, use buses, make sure you're not overcrowding your signals so that we can have a clean mix. Your dynamics is really important because that's where it's going to add a lot of energy. Right now we have a lot of different cool, really cool grooves and cool rhythms in here. I was dancing to some of these sections, but right off the rip, the first drop, you kind of just go straight into like this super crazy spastic bass when really it's just too much at this. So it sounds pretty muddy and messy, and it's not really the right tone to set as soon as the drop starts. Started with some quarter notes and kept it simple, and then moved on to something more complex, and then went back to the simple. It would make a lot more sense and keep people dancing. You kind of did something similar in the second drop, so I really recommend that you do that. It'll be helpful. Overall, the mix too, like there's some pretty big issues because the rides are starting to sound louder than the actual bass leads. So like our tops and stuff should not be louder than our main stars of the show, which are those mid basses and those bass leads. So you want to be layering those to get them louder, using EQ to clean up any problem frequencies, and being very careful on the amount of compression you use. If you use a compressor, instead of turning up all the way, you want to add multiple compressors right after each other on very low dry and wet settings. That's what my professors at school taught me to do, and it works very well. That's what I recommend that you do as well to individual tracks, groups, buses, master track if you need. You know what I'm saying. You know what it is. Let me know if you have questions about that. But those are going to be important into making your track sound professional. Professional. All right. Cool. Up next, we have Calculations by Oblivion. Cover out here. Looking snazzy. Let's get it done.
I've got a bad feeling about this. calculator. Pucker up, Buttercup. It ain't over yet. Next time it won't be so easy. Pucker up, Buttercup. It ain't over yet.
Sorry. All right, so the timing needs to be fixed. The overall energy needs to be improved upon, because right now we're dancing not in full time, which would be like 140 or 150, but rather half time. So like if you listen, check out the head bob. Check out his head bob. That's the head bob of a 70 BPM mother guy. When really we need to be like boom, 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 boom. Like that's the regular speed. So we got to be dancing in that speed. And the reason we're not dancing in that speed is because the basses are like slowed down. So you just want to make them go quarter note, and that'll help a lot. The overall timing of this, they're a little bit too long. So you want to make sure that these don't overextend. If you listen to your first drop and then listen to the transition, it'll be easier to correct the timing and get the timing perfectly. The sustains overall in the majority of the song are overplayed and start to get very repetitive. You want to make a very good call and response structure with the sustain. And I do also recommend that when you use sustains, you use them like every other phrase rather than every single phrase on all the drops, because that's going to basically lower the intensity levels of the sustain. We want to use the sustain to add energy in special sections. It's really important. It's really helpful. My mic is still good, right, guys? I'm pretty sure I fixed it. Overall, this track though is really sick because of the Duke Nukem vocals. If you didn't have the Duke Nukem vocals, basically we'd be on a whole different level. The Duke Nukem vocals are so low energy. The video game vocals are like recorded special, so the amount of different cool energy you're bringing into the track just with those couple vocal phrases is impeccable. Definitely do that. Definitely fun times. Calculations. Who's up next? All right. We got Murata Death Pit. Wait. No, we don't. We got Goat Uggs. No. Goat Dubs. He edited Murata's death. Is it really going down? I don't know. Let's run it. Alright, that's Goat Dubs coming with a Murata Death Pit flip. Now, I gotta say, man, you gotta be careful when you're flipping or bootlegging a song that's already a fucking hit. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, all of us have heard it, the original Death Pit, and it's so heavy. right? Like, Murata is one of those artists who has gotten past like these barriers of energy that haven't been passed. He makes his own unique sound. He's getting super, super high energy levels, which have never been felt or heard of before in like human history. So remixing his track is very risky, tricky. Whenever I try to remix or flip one of his songs, I literally try to pick his worst song. Like, I'll find like his worst song with like the worst drop, and then I'll try to make a better drop, you know? But in this case, it's kind of the opposite. You know, he's already made one of the best drops of mankind in this song, but then you're trying to edit it and trying to, I mean, obviously you want to make it as good or better, but it's just not coming out like that. His mixes are so freaking clean and loud and big that when you edit one of his songs, if you don't match that same cleanliness or heaviness, it's an obvious difference. And that's what's appearing here. You know, it's obvious that you edited it, and it's obvious what you did in your edit, which is very minimal. Like, you're heavily relying on the original track in most of these sections. And in some of the sections, which should have a lot of high energy, the energy starts to decrease compared to the original track, which is really hard to listen to, because I'm so used to the original track that I'm expecting energy to increase during the certain phrases, like halfway through, you know, during the sussies, but you're not completing that. So you got to be really careful. You know, it's much better to edit or remix a song that doesn't have such a crazy, amazing drop. But if you do, you should use it in a unique, special way. So instead of making like dubstep, you can make a different genre like drum and bass or house with this type of song and make it unique. You just want to be as unique as possible, because right now it just kind of sounds like Murata Death Pit, and you just like sprinkled in a little bit of rhythm yoinks, which really didn't need to be there in the first place. So you can definitely do much better than this. I would recommend completely making this like a rhythm track and trying to make it go as far away from the original as possible, so that it could be you and unique, and it'll be perceived a lot better, and you'll probably be able to get a lot more energy out of it too. So remember that. Use AI splitters if you need to split the tracks into instrumentals, bass, vocals, and then that can help with your edits and remixes too. We're in the future. All right, cool. That is Goat Dubs with the Death Pit edit. Up next now, we have the Snasty edit by Snasta. Let's run it back for the 1 time, for the 2 time. 2 time.
Listen, never invited. Dons them arrive same way. About private party, they should have known. Slap that away. Slap rate is always on the menu. Bumbo, don't try escape. Strike up your venue. That's where you know it's too late. Yo, your friend them run off, and I select the shows them and turn on. Black band and a gang, they are on the front line. Every selector life turn on lock off. When we are make art piece up on shut off. Them and I chat fuck, we are run out of bars. So anyway, you see me just level. Copy of my rebels will send you back to the stars. So watch out with Duppy and win. Watch out with Duppy and win. Watch out with Duppy and win. The man I'm in full lose. Watch out with Duppy and win. Watch out with Duppy and win. Sign them at one. Listen, never invited. Guns them arrive same way. Our private party, I should have known. Slap that away. Slap rate always on the menu. Bumbo, don't try escape. Strike up your venue. That's where you know it's too late. Yo, your friend them turn off, and I select the shows them and turn on. Band and a gang, they on the front line. Select your life and love off. When we make art piece up on shut off. The chat fuck, we are run out of bars. So anyway, you see me just copy of my rebels will send you back to the stars. So watch out with Duppy and win. Watch out with Duppy and win. Watch out with Duppy and win. So watch out with Duppy and win. Watch out with Duppy and win. Watch out with Duppy and win. The man I'm in full lose. Watch out with Duppy and win. Watch out with Duppy and win. Sign them at one. Listen, never invited. Guns them arrive same way. Our private party, they should've known who slapped that away. Slap waves always on the menu. Bumbo, don't try escape. Strike up your venue. That's when you know it's too late. Yo, you friend them turn off and off, and let's select the shows and man on turn off. Bandana gang here on the front line. They select your life and unlock off. Don't play make artists punch us off. Them patch up what we're out of box. The way you say me just cut me on my records and yeah, back to the stars. So watch how we copy and win. Watch how we copy and win. Watch how we copy and win. The man should feel and lose. Watch how we copy and win. Watch how we copy and win. Sack them at one. Done by two. Never invited. Dons them arrive same way. About private party. They should've known who slapped that away. Slap waves was on the menu. Bumbo, don't try escape. Strike up your venue. That's when you know it's too late. Yo, you friend them turn off and off, and let's select the shows and man on turn off. That bandana gang here on the front line. They select your life and unlock off. Don't play make artists punch us off. Them patch up what we're out of box. The way you say me just cut me on my records and yeah, back to the stars. So watch how we drop here and win. Watch how we drop here and win. Watch how we drop here and win. The man should fool and lose. Watch how we drop here and win. Watch how we drop here and win. Sign them at one. Done by two. Listen, never invited. Guns them arrive same way. That's when you know it's too late. Yo, you friend them turn off and off, and let's select the shows and man on turn off. Bandana gang here on the front line.
Bro. Gosh, Man, OBS is really getting me wild today, boys. I'm gonna throw OBS out the window after this stream. Snesta, listen here, son. Fuck, man. Everything I said earlier was so in the moment and so perfect and so amazing. But I remember what I said. So listen closely. When I hear something like this, with this much energy and this much cleanliness, I start to lose track of what I'm listening to, and I really just start to feel, and I get lost in the feeling. Once you find that sweet spot, that magic spot in production and making music, people stop listening to the sound. They just feel, they're just going on the ride, going on the journey. Those frequencies are just enveloped in your soul, going through your blood, going through your nervous system, and you just stop thinking about the instruments being played. You're just lost in that perfect harmony. And you've really reached this. Using this really deep, dark, grimy vocal is really taking it to the next level. The tones of his voice are so low and they match so well with the dubstep drop. Plus, like, the energy of his voice keeps running during the drop. So it's just high energy the whole time. Really, the only thing that I even think could be improved in the song would be like the intro sub. It's a little bit quiet on the intro sub. I do love the sub though. It feels so good. The pitch bends, the pitch glides and slides are so good. So that's great. Man, you definitely need to be dropping this on SoundCloud. You don't have to monetize it. You don't have to put it on Spotify, but just drop it on SoundCloud for the one time. Let people dance to it. Let people enjoy. This is EDM. This is electronic dancing music. So you want to make sure people get the dancing time. Put this up. Use the vocal very well. Remember, guys, the vocal is, the voice, the human voice is the best instrument in the world. It's the most dynamic instrument. It could be loud, quiet. It could go like low pitch, high pitch. It can do everything. So use it. Utilize like the Snasta. Good job, man. I loved it. I'm probably going to, like, I would play that out. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I was DJing, I'm playing something like that out. Whew. Up next, we got Lysergics with Basic. This is rated R. So get ready. 3, 2, 1.
I got my vision that I'm chasing. Yes, I am that boy that's from the bottom, from the basement. Everybody tell me I will never get a placement, but it's all about cause all of y'all are really basic. I got my vision that I'm chasing. Yes, I am that boy that's from the bottom, from the basement. Everybody tells me I will never get a placement, but it's all about cause all of y'all are really basic. Basic, I am your replacement, you should face it. That I'm a different kid, grinding up from the basement like I said. I am back, I just came to kill the track. I've been way up in my spaceship, let me trouble, spit the facts. Yeah, get it fast, let me get it, man, I gotta get it. I be in the beat when I kill it like I'm a rebel. Doing every single man, I really gonna stand there. I'm the one with a shit, goddamn. If they don't, then I can roll, make it clear. Like an alien, I won't just take your planet. I will make you get some. I will make you get some. Cause I see these guys, man, they talking every day, bro. They don't see the vision cause they ain't in my space, bro. I don't miss you, I will never go in place. So these kids that split the legend if I'm never with these names, cause all of y'all is y'all is
Cool. That's basic. I mean, that's, yeah, it's basic. It's basic, but with two S's. So there's bass in the basic, if you know what I'm saying. Ballasurgics. Cool. So we got some nice energies in here. The only thing is we're starting to break out. You know, we start to zoom out. You start to see a brick. This is not good news. This means it's either too loud or it's over compressed. Once we start to monitor the actual loudness levels, you can see it is too loud. We're coming at like negative 1.5 lefts, which is just too loud. You really shouldn't go past -3. -4 to -3 is really the range that you want to be in so that you're properly damaging eardrums. 1.5 is just too aggressive on the eardrums. So some of these sections, they're sounding good, but they start to sound a little bit congested. So if you listen here, you have a lot of different sounds being played at the same time, and they're kind of competing for space. So it starts to sound a little bit congested, a little bit messy. You really want to start to simplify. Maybe turn some tracks off, dial some tracks back, so that the other sounds can have space to breathe, essentially. This is happening a lot throughout this song, so I will look at all your phrases and make sure that you simplify them, give them enough space to breathe with all your different basses, and make sure not too many are playing at the same exact time, because they all are causing a little bit of congestion. We don't want none of that congestion. I like the vocals. Really cool to have. Cool to have the name of the song in. The vocals sound a little bit off time. Vocals could definitely be improved upon with layering and getting it perfect on time. If you're the one recording it with your voice, make sure you use the metronome when recording so you can literally get perfect timing. Rappers are important and special because they know how to get timing perfectly and be consistent and keep that energy and tone going consistently. So those are things you want to practice if you're ever recording your vocals live by yourself. But this is good, man. Stepping up the game. I see what you're doing over here. I see what you're doing. Remember, fix that brick. When we zoom out, we don't want these bricks, man. I don't want none of these bricks. Up next, we got Dreams with Murders. Oh God, I am scared. So I'm gonna have murders in my dreams, or in my dreams, there's gonna be murders. Shit, we gonna find out right now. I'm loving these chords, man. Super luscious. Just oof, straight into the feels with those chords. I really liked how this intro is really unique too. It sounds so weird right here. It sounds like old 70s, like freaking Lifetime. Something. I don't know, man. It made me feel weird, and then all of a sudden, it made me feel like I was at my grandma's house, you know, back in '04. You know what I'm saying? And then, bro, that slow down transition swell, bruh. Ooh, talk about dreamy. Ooh, boy, got that dream unlocked, man. If your name is legit Dreams, you gotta just run with it in your tracks and stuff like that. These transitions are the definition of dreamy. Oh no, phone's dying. I'm gonna have to get that charged. So this is really good. These, like, stuff like this would keep me coming back to the song. But when we get towards here, it starts to get really loud. In the intros, you don't want to be too loud. You want to save that loudness for the drop. Your drop should be peaking at -3 LUFS. That's the loudest you should be. Overall, your song should be in the single digits, like intro, drop. You want to be in the single digits. Too quiet is like -16, -17. That's way too quiet. You don't really want to be there. But your intro should be like quietest, -12. And then -12 to like -6 LUFS is where you want your intro to be. And as soon as you get to your drop, -3 LUFS, it's a lot louder. Right now, your actual intro is actually louder than the drop, which is a problem because the energy levels will be reduced at the drop rather than increased. Us just increasing the volume at the drop increases energy levels. So us doing that little trick is kind of like a default standard that we're going to be doing. So remember to do that. One of the reasons why things get too loud is over compression. oversaturation. If you're parallel processing, you need to turn down the chains so that you're not letting both signals play at 0 decibels. Parallel processing means you have 2 signals playing at the same time. So you want to compensate and start turning down those chains so that they blend together. They're not too loud. And also, if you look at some of these phrases, they start to become too loud as well. There are measuring tools you can use, like Ulean loudness meter or the Swiss Army meter, that you can use to see how loud things are. It's going to help so you can measure. But basically, we want to be able to be loud but also clean at the same time. On my interface, I can only turn it up about like 3 notches. But we listened to a song earlier that was around the same loudness where I could turn it up a lot more on the interface. So you can get things loud without it damaging your ears. And that's really what you need to start paying attention to, because right now you're just getting things really loud. Frequencies are not being treated. They're harsh to the ears. They're damaging to the ears. So we got to be careful on what we're doing there. Use your clippers, EQs, and volume to reduce frequencies. Look up the Fletcher-Munson curve as well, so you understand how our ears hear frequencies differently at different levels of volume. We perceive frequencies differently. So it's important to understand when you're making music how everyone's ears perceive the frequencies. So Fletcher-Munson curve, learn about that. It'll help a lot with understanding all this. Murders in my dreams. Last thing are your rides, your tops. Most of it are like trap hi-hats, like really fast going in the back. It just really doesn't match the rhythm or the flow of the basses in the sub. So you want to have like quarter note rides, maybe a little bit of action, fast action in the background layered on top of those quarter note rides, but you really need that so it doesn't get too crazy. The trap hats make it seem a little bit erratic, and we don't want it to get like that. So got to be careful. Good job though, man. You're getting the vibes in here. I think that's really important. Plus you have really cool, unique transitions, which I am trying to do too. Fun time. Good one. All right. Dreams coming in with the murders. Hopefully he's not murdering, but hopefully he's just dream murdering. Up next we got Error Code coming in with Miss Me. Not version 1. We have version 2, boys. And check out this cover art. Flamin' Rose. Error Code. Let's get it done.
Baby, why you call me? Do you feel alone? I know that you miss me, but you are so down. I know, yeah. I know that you miss
Okay, cool. Okay, so OBS is tripping constantly, but here we go. So some of these sections are a little bit muddy. Now, when we're listening to the drop, a lot of the basses are starting to compete with each other in the low mid frequency range. So like from 100 to 400 hertz, you want to pay attention to. You really want to be EQing each individual track and making sure that you're not building up a lot of frequencies from 100 to 200 hertz. Those can start to get a little bit of mud. The call and response here, there's not really any call and response. We kind of just get thrown into the response bass. So as soon as it starts going fast right away. Because of this, we're losing like energy in the drop. It's kind of all over the place because there's not really a solid song structure. If you focus on call and response, it will help the beginning. Now the beginning needs to be simple, and then it gets complex and crazy, and then you go back to simple and you go complex. So that's one way that you can do call and response with what you have here. It's going to help a lot because right now we're trying to flow, trying to dance to this, but really it just sounds like a lot of different sounds are being played without any structure. And because of that, we're losing rhythm, we're losing groove, and we can't. That groove is how we dance, my boy. Just song structure, use dynamics, incorporate a little bit more silence with the sections where the drop is playing so that from phrase to phrase, it sounds a little bit more impactful. Silence really goes a long way. So it'll be like maybe call, silence, response. And 4-bar phrases, you'll be working in a 4-bar phrase, making your call, response, and then at the end of the 4 bars, you can have a little fill. And those 3 things will then loop around in the 4-bar phrase. And that would be proper, if you know what I'm saying. Cool. Then second drop sounded very similar. You do want to do the same thing with the EQ, checking out the mud, checking out the call and response. We want to make as much energy as possible during this drop. So getting that flow right is really important. And then you can layer a lot more build-up drums and risers to build more tension in this build-up so that the drop will hit harder once it does hit. That's really going to help, man. That's what you got to do. Seems like you have a nice little foundation here. The vocal sounds a little bit too pitched up, though. She's kind of sounding a little chipmunky. Gotta be careful. If you pitch her up too much to get her in key, you risk her getting chipmunked. All pitched up, sounding like a chipmunk, so be careful. Cool. Good job. Definitely good. You're definitely improving every time. Take it to the next level. Get those flows, man. Call and response flows. That's everything. Sick. Up next, we got Hector with 500 megahertz. Let's get it done then. Damn, I'm muted again, bro. I'm so over this OBS, man. Bro, if OBS doesn't fix after this, we're gonna have some issues, man. We're gonna have some issues, man. All right, Hector. Basically, what I was saying is through the halfway point here. So after the first 8 bars, second 8 bars comes, the energy levels start to decrease over time because this bass has basically been playing the whole time in the first 8. So it starts to get repetitive and predictable. You just really want to make sure you change up the rhythm or the timing or the tonality so that this feels different than the first phrase, because we want to keep the energy increasing rather than decreasing at the second 8 bars. Once we get to the other section, in the drum, oh gosh, I'm playing the wrong song. Halfway through your song, start to speed up really nice, really fast. This is what we want. You kind of want to be doing the same thing beforehand at that 8 bars too. And then towards the end, it starts to get a little bit muddy. Lots of these basses are starting to compete with each other only in this section. All the other phrases sound clean, but in this, you want to pay attention to the basses that are playing. Start using your EQ. Lots of different basses playing, competing for space. You just want to make sure you simplify in sections like that. It's going to help a lot. Right now, you are zooming out and it's looking really bricked. It is too loud. We're peaking at about negative 1.8 LUFS, so you really don't want to be that loud. The loudest you should be for this rhythm song is like negative 3 LUFS. That's really what's going to be the cleanest for you. Plus, if you're at negative 3 LUFS, we can turn it up as loud as we want on the interface and get to pumping. Right now, I can't really get to pumping because of it being too loud and like damaging our ears. So be careful with all that. Nice. Okay, cool. Up next, we got Miriam Song by Extol Rise. Let's go. my god. This drum and bass song needs to have more dynamics. If you zoom out, you see it starts to brick. That's because we're negative 1.7 LUFS. It's really way too loud for drum and bass. Drum and bass usually would be maybe like -3 maximum, which is really rare. If you start to reference different drum and bass songs, you can kind of monitor how loud they get. So you can try to get around that loudness level. Right now, it's just chords that are being played that are that loud. So it's really not okay that it's, damaging our ears just by playing chords. If you're playing like layered basses, like in a tearout song or something, it'd be a little bit different. But right now, it's just really chords and drum and bass drums. So really dial back the sounds. Make sure it doesn't get too crazy. Overall, though, you're hitting the emotion, harmonic elements, and those are important. Up next, we have Lose Control by the Tree Amigos. Let's get it.
Baby, can we go fast? Can we go slower? Make me come alive again. Make me lose control. Baby, can we go fast? Can we go slower? Make me come alive again. Make me lose control. Make me come alive again. Make me lose control.